Hi everybody, this video is going to talk about lesson 9.3, which is putting coordinates on the unit circle. In our last video, we talked about these three triangles, and we talked about how this side is radical 2 over 2, and so is this one. And on this one, this is a 1/2 over here, and this is a radical 3 over 2 up here. And on this one, we also have a 1/2, this time it's over here, and we have a radical 3 over 2 here. Now, what we are going to do is basically take those triangles and put them onto the unit circle. Let me tell you what I mean by that. What I mean by that is when we talk about a unit circle, the unit that we are talking about is like one grid, like one box, okay? So this is actually like, imagine we've like zoomed in on a piece of graph paper, and this graph paper, each of these is essentially a box, okay? So I'm zooming in on this piece of graph paper, and I've now got this box that looks something like this. Here's my graph paper. And so with that information, what I could say is this point over here is the point 1, 0. This point up here is 0, 1. Over here I have a negative 1, 0. And down here I'm going to have 0, negative 1. Now, remember, we just said this a second ago, that this side is radical 2 over 2, and this side also is radical 2 over 2. So if I talk about, well, what about this point? Well, remember the hypotenuse is 1. So each of these has a radius of 1 as we go around the circle. But the coordinate where this hits is not a 1. The x-coordinate is radical 2 over 2, and the y-coordinate is also radical 2 over 2. Because that's how that triangle is fitting in there, as I have the radical 2 over 2 on each side. Now the hypotenuse is still 1, but the coordinate is radical 2 over 2. Okay, now in this circle, what I've done is I've added in a bunch of them. So we're just focusing on the green ones right now. So this one has the same coordinates, it's just that this is a negative radical 2 over 2, and it goes up radical 2 over 2. And we could do the same thing towards the bottom. This is negative and negative. And over here we have a positive radical 2 over 2 and a negative radical 2 over 2. So now I've filled in all my 45 triangles. Let's take a look at our 30, 60, 90, this red one that's here. And so again, we know that this side was 1/2 and this side was radical 3 over 2. And so our x value is radical 3 over 2 and our y value is 1/2. And we can come over here, our x value is negative radical 3 over 2 and our y value is 1/2. And down here we have a negative and a negative, negative radical 3 over 2, and a positive, or excuse me, a negative 1/2. And here we have a positive and a negative. So this is positive radical 3 over 2 and a negative 1/2. So it's the same numbers, they've just varied depending on which piece of which quadrant they're in. Let's now take a look at the yellow ones. I bet that you all can figure this out. It's just you're going to switch your coordinates that were here. And so we go over 1/2 and we go up radical 3 over 2. Over here we go over negative 1/2 and we go up radical 3 over 2. Over here we're going to go over negative 1/2 and down now radical 3 over 2. And here we're going to go positive 1/2 and a negative radical 3 over 2. And so in that way, we can fill in the coordinates of every single point along the way. You need to know what these points are, and I'm hoping that these little triangles can help you memorize that.